Hey everybody, welcome to Life is Sunny Lee. And it's been a fun week and a bad week. um, of course, it was Christmas. It doesn't quite seem like Christmas this week because of all the thing that went on. On Sunday, we had a nice day. Um, Sean and Doug both slept in. They weren't feeling great. Sean had come down over the weekend, and he'd been sick last week, so he was still coughing around. And we did go to church, and we went out to eat. Brought the boys back home some food. I took Dusty outside for a while and worked with her. I've been kind of worried about her with the collar in the long line because she runs it in and she snaps it, and I was afraid it was hurting her neck because it was getting to the point where I would touch her collar and her neck and she would just get snappy. So I changed it the next day to a no-po walking harness, and that seemed to do much, much better. I had her out quite a bit that day. We played in the front yard for a half hour, and then I took her in the backyard and we walked for a half hour. We did that twice that day, and she did wonderful. Heel, walking loose leash, a big difference from the collar that she had. And Monday I got around to making some cookies. Doug said he wasn't feeling good. He had chills and stuff. So I was a little worried about him. So I ended up staying home and made cookies. Made Kringle bars and the Kiss cookies. And I started some laundry and took care of Doug, set up the vaporizer for him and everything. So we have that. On Tuesday, I was going to bake Santa Claus cookies, and I just didn't feel up to it. The plans didn't work out right. I took Dusty out. I was only planning on taking her out for a half hour, but when I had her out there, Bill decided to mop her room and clean it really good, vacuum it and everything. So it was 3 hours later that we were outside that we came back in and put her up. Now, Santa Claus cookies one batch of Santa Claus cookies takes 3 to 4 hours to fix. You have to mix it up, and then you have to leave the dough chill for an hour, and then you have to roll them all out and decorate them, and then you have to bake them, and then you have to let them cool, and then you have to mix up the frosting, and you have to put the frosting on them. So they take a good 3 to 4 hours just to make the Santa Claus cookies. And I didn't have that time because after we got Dusty back in, we went to town and finished the Christmas shopping that we had to do. And so that did not work out. Doug was not feeling very well yet, so I just fixed some hamburgers for everybody else. Bill and I ate out, and so I didn't have to fix anything for us. And let's see, what else? I had some really good training sessions that day for Dusty. She did really, really well. And then on Wednesday, it was another really pretty day. I could have done the cookies, but I just wasn't motivated to at that point. And it's so pretty that I wanted to get outside. So I worked in the greenhouse and the tomato trellis. And I worked for 2.5 hours out there. I got the low greenhouse completely ready. It's all cleaned out. Everything's ready. The tomato cages are up. The pepper cages are up. We're just waiting. I know how many I need to make this year, so I don't have a bunch of extra tomatoes like I did last year, or peppers. So I know exactly how many I need to make, or need to plant and have ready to transplant. And so this done. I still have the high greenhouse to do, but we got the low greenhouse and the tomato trellis completely done, and I got the herb house, the bed in there, I got it cleaned out. So I got all that done, and also got Dusty outside training for a while, and watched the Christmas Eve service from our church on YouTube, and then Sean and I stayed up and watched the Christmas Mass before going to bed. Christmas Day, I woke up, I felt really good. The only problem is that Dusty had been up all night long barking because there was a stray dog outside. And the stray dog was still out there that morning. And I knew I couldn't take her out, not knowing the temperament of that stray dog, not knowing how she would react to a stray dog, because she's never been around dogs except at the vet's office. And she did okay there, but I didn't know how she would do with a dog on her property. So we went out and I put not Dusty, but Dexter's old cage. We carried it around to the front, and I put 2 scoops of dog food in it, and the dog went into the. It took a while, but the dog finally went into the crate and to eat the dog food, and we shut the door on it, and that way I could take Dusty out. I took her out the back. I didn't take her out near the front. I didn't take her out near the dog. Took her out near the back and walked her for a half hour. And while I was doing that, Bill called the sheriff's department in the animal control section and told him that we had a dog that needed to be taken, needed to be picked up. And I asked the lady, it was a very nice lady, I asked her what they did with him. And she said the first thing they would do with it is take it to the vet and make sure if it was microchipped or not. And if it was microchipped, then they would try to find the owner. If it wasn't microchipped, they would keep it for 5 days and have it on their website, on Facebook, trying to find the owner. And if nobody claimed it in 5 days, then it would go up. It'd go back to the vet, get microchipped, and whatever else they have to do, and then it would go up for adoption. So that was a nice thing. I mean, this was a good dog. It's just, it's a large black and white dog. Very nice. Once it was scared. Once it got acclimated to the person and she got the leash around it, it turned into a nice little dog. It followed her everywhere, tail wagging. I mean, it was happy. It had a faux tummy, and it was getting love and treatment, from her. So I felt good about that. At least I know it's going to try to find itself a home if its owner doesn't show up. And then I took Dusty out front and let her play for a half hour out front like normal after the dog left. And the boys didn't get down here until about 2 o'clock. And about that time, I started coming down with what I have now. Didn't take many pictures because I had an upset stomach, my head hurt, and I just basically wanted to rest, wanted to just sit down and rest. So Bill took most of the pictures. Dusty got the most gifts, I think, Dusty and I. Everybody else, the boys got one gift and then they get money. It was just what they want because they're all established and they don't need that much. I found out what they really, really wanted, and I got the one gift that they really, really wanted or what they needed. And then the rest was just some candy and stuff like that. But nothing really outstanding. Dusty, yes, I got the most. She got a new ball. No, this doesn't count the stuff I got her before Christmas that she used. That was supposed to be her Christmas gifts, like the bed that she's been laying on, the bed in here that she's been laying on, the cover that she almost destroyed that's supposed to make it warmer for her, the under the crate heater, and the hurting ball which she got earlier and was playing with. That doesn't count those. In addition to that, she got another Jolly Ball. She got a glow-in-the-dark ball. She got another Frisbee. She got another feeding dish, slow puzzle dish, and a stocking. Oh, excuse me. A stocking. And a remote control collar, which she hasn't used yet. So she got the most gifts, and I got the second most. Oh, gosh. Okay. Then on Christmas night, I did not feel well at all. I was all stopped up. My sinuses here hurt underneath here really bad. I had trouble breathing, because I was all stopped up. I was sneezing and coughing. I had a slight upset stomach. Not really bad, but enough that I kept waking up during the night with either chills, so I'd bundle up really good, and about half hour later, I'd be hot and taking everything off. And then it'd be chills again, and then hot, back and forth all night long. And according to my sleep watch, I got 11 hours sleep, but I think it wasn't. I think I said I woke up 5 different times during the night where I actually was up. And about 9 o'clock, Doug came in with the humidifier with some Hawes stuff that goes into it, and he gave me an ibuprofen, and I went back to sleep, and I slept till 1 o'clock. And I woke up, I felt a little bit better, not great. Took Dusty out for a half hour, and that was it. Came back in, did not even get out to the chicken, to leave her out, because by that time it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock. I figured I'd just be putting her up in another half hour. So I came in, rested for a little bit, and then I went out and fed the chicken. Came back in, rested some more. It's like you do a little bit of exercise or work, and then you had to sit down and rest. It was like that. And I rested a little bit, and then Doug went to town, get some stuff. He was feeling much better, and he brought home pizza. The boy said it was good, but I had no taste. Everything tasted off. So I only ate about half of mine, and went out and took care of the cats, and then went upstairs, took a bath, and went to bed. And before I went to bed, Doug set up the humidifier for me again and gave me another ibuprofen. And I did sleep until like 5 o'clock in the morning, because Chris drove himself to work, and I had to get up at 5 to turn on the lights so he could come home and there would be lights outside for him. So I got up and turned the lights on for him. And he got home at 5:30, and then I went back to sleep and slept until 10. And that was Saturday morning. Took Dusty out. She was a real pain. I don't know if she hadn't gotten enough exercise in the last 2 days, but she gave me a trouble with getting I had no problem getting the walking harness on her, but putting that tracking collar on her, she had she just wanted to bite. And I took her outside. She was fine outside. We were out there for a half hour. I brought her back in and was getting ready to take the harness off of her, and she grabbed a hold of my sleeve, and she grabbed it, and then she let go, and then she grabbed it even harder. So I had to actually just pull myself out of the room and leaving the harness and everything on her. And I waited a couple minutes and got her food, got her water, and went out. And she was a completely different dog at that point. So I think I'm going to start with the remote collar with her. And a lot of people get the wrong idea about remote collars. The one I have has 3 settings. It has a beep setting, a vibration setting, and the shock type setting. And when people hear shock, they think, oh my gosh, the dog's going to yelp and it's going to be in hurt and pain and stuff. And that's not what happens at all. It's like static electricity. You start at the low level on it, and you hit the button, and you keep increasing the levels until the dog reacts. And by reacting, I mean it's like a static electricity. It's like somebody tapped you on the shoulder, and the dog will go like that. In that, she felt it. And it doesn't hurt her. It's just a little, like static electricity. And you can use the beep button as a reward. You condition it just like you would a clicker or the yes. You hit the beep button, you say yes, and you give her food. You hit the beep button, say yes, give her food. And you continue doing that until so she learns that the collar can be a good thing. And so some people use the vibration as a deterrent, and some people use the shock. And from what I've read, the vibration is worse than the shock. So both of them, you start at the lowest level, and you work up until the dog reacts. Now, if you're working with the shock part, or both of them actually, to condition your dogs so that they know it's not going to hurt them to get this collar on, like you would start at a very low level, and you would tell them in command, and you would hit the button, and if they set right away, let's say set. You say set. If they set right away, you don't do anything. You hit the beep button saying yes. If they take a while and decide, oh, I'm not going to listen to her, then you hit the shock or the vibration call once, and you hold it down until they do what they're supposed to do. If they say set, they don't set, you hold it down until they do set. And you might have to help them a few times to set to get used to this. And if after you've conditioned that for 2 or 3 days, then you can start using it for correction. Now, for correction would be something like when she tries to bite, and you tell her she's got a hold of you, and you're saying out, and she's not leaving out. You can hit the vibration, the regular one first, saying out. If that doesn't work, then you can increase the intensity until she, leaves go. And that is correction. And you'll know when she leaves go, that's when you know what your correction is. So you can set it for that the next time, so you don't have to go through 1 through 3 or whatever. You can just hit the correction. And some of the remotes have a +5 or +10, which is an automatic correction. You just hit that, and it ups it from your regular up by 5 or up by 10. So, and they're not used for training a dog. They're used after the dog has been trained to come, to set, to go down, and to heel. You have to have the basic commands in, because you're introducing something new to the dog. So they have to know what you want before you use this. So, like I say, they have to know how to set. It's just for when they don't want to mind you, or if they're far out. And this is a good thing for if you want to leave them go without your leash. Like if I decide she has a good recall and she doesn't chase cars, and I can leave her out in the front yard without a leash, then I can have the remote control as a backup. Like if she starts to do something she's not supposed to, hit the vibration or hit the, and give her a command, call her right back or whatever. If she's really doing something she's not supposed to, like going after a car, I can hit the correction mode and, stop her that way. So that's what the remote collar is basically for. It's not for the beginning training. It's for the more advanced training after they know what they're doing. So she is at that point where I can start doing that. I would have started already had not gotten sick. But as you can tell, I have my little blanket, and it's like almost 70 degrees out there, and I'm in here bundled up. So hopefully I will start feeling better. Like I said, the boys had it for a couple of days, and then they started feeling better. I am feeling a lot better than what I did Christmas night. But I'm still sneezing. I still got a stuffy nose, as you can tell by my voice. And, just don't have the energy right now. Wanting to drink a lot of water. Don't want to drink anything else. Not really that hungry. So, hopefully things will get better. So, like, share, subscribe, and stay well, and see you in the next video, hopefully. Bye, everybody.